Sean Combs, how he's gotten roped into this, because we're talking about North, okay? North is Kanye and Kim K's daughter. So what does that have to do with Sean Combs? And how is that affecting his trial, Sydney?
Nancy, it really has nothing to do with Sean Combs until that phone call dropped, until this leak of that phone call was exposed to the public. Everybody thought that Sean Combs was not touching Kanye with a 10-foot pole. I mean, we saw how quickly his vote of confidence in Combs turned into an anti-Semitic tirade just last month. So after that, you would think that Combs would have learned his lesson and stayed away. But it just highlights how isolated Combs is. He doesn't have any friends in Hollywood if he's having to turn to Kanye for friendship. So really, Combs doesn't need to be involved, but he involved himself by allowing that friendship with Kanye to continue. And their relationship has always been complicated, Nancy. So the fact that he's reaching out to Kanye is really telling.
I don't know. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Let's talk about something else.
Following the playback of a sealed video, the courtroom fell silent. Indeed, it purportedly linked Diddy, Kanye West, and Kim Kardashian to the same unsettling incident. The judge stopped the trial because she was so shocked. Why were Kanye and Kim present at all? And what is actually revealed by this video? This is more significant than anyone anticipated, and it has the potential to upend Hollywood as a whole. You are going to hear something that will make you doubt everything, so pay close attention.
I suspect that we're pretty awful people if we say that somebody got a mental illness and then we watch what they do. If you say somebody got special needs, then why would you be watching them and holding them accountable like everybody else? Wouldn't you grade them on a curve? Wouldn't you go, whew, this guy? Because, I mean, what are we reacting to? What are we reacting to? You're the one that put him in a position where he thought he was God and could call himself Jesus. And you're the one told a guy that writes musical lyrics that he was a genius. Mm-hmm. You're the one that's like, so what do you expect? The guy married a whore. Like, well, like, I didn't mean it like that. I mean, married her because she was one. Not he didn't know. He understood that he wanted that.
The judge freezes at the Kim K clip in the startling courtroom scene. Nobody had anticipated this. Something happened in a courtroom that was already tense and left everyone in complete shock. In front of the court, the legal teams, and the few people who were let inside, a sealed video, one that was not meant to be included in the public evidence, was shown, and the whole atmosphere in the room transformed in a matter of minutes after it started rolling. The judge's response was characterized by witnesses as clearly upset. According to reports, she seemed pale, inhaled deeply, and demanded that the proceedings be immediately stopped. That was a bombshell, not simply a surprise. This was the first time his name was formally linked to Diddy's probe. Not only was it stunning to see him referenced alongside Kim and Diddy in a sealed video, but it also seemed like a major turning point.
Kardashian is linked to the Diddy lawsuit. Yeah. Kim, 24 hours before the raid, unfollowed Diddy despite continuing to follow him even after the Cassie lawsuit was settled. Turns out Kris Jenner makes all of her daughters give 10% of their income to a church. The church is run by none other than Lou Taylor. So Lou is allegedly Diddy's manager, and Diddy is asking Lou to pay off the victims to keep them quiet. Lou is the one who put Britney Spears in a conservatorship, and while Kim was married to Kanye, she tried to force him in one too. And during these so-called conservatorships, the Guardian steals money from these celebrities and pays out victims through the church to make it seem like donations. And people think Kim is involved in the trafficking ring after her Balenciaga endorsement. Balenciaga was called out for advertising CP in their campaigns.
And the room fell silent as the video ended. Because of what they had just witnessed, nobody spoke or moved. And that brings us to the one query that is currently reverberating across all platforms. What is this video about exactly? What is purportedly captured in the video? Reactions, whispers, and details. Let us now examine what insiders claim the video truly depicts. To begin with, it has not been made public yet, and probably never will be, but that has not prevented people from discussing it. The buzz surrounding this clip is incredible, ranging from rumors circulating within the court to tips being leaked to bloggers. Kanye West is then said to make an appearance at the same location shortly after. That is the main source of turmoil, right there. Not only did they show up, but they did so in unison and connected to Diddy's group.
Correct, then how does she end up with Pete Davidson?
I mean, it happens all the time.
And what if you weren't even good enough for Pete and he leaves you? What do that mean the product was? No, I don't support or villainize Kanye because I don't understand what it is we want from him. I don't know why we look at a basketball player and say, he didn't score no hockey goals this whole season. He don't play hockey. Kanye don't say nothing I can agree with. Okay. He was the weird guy in the beginning with the pink sweaters when we met him. Like, what do you think moving to a beat of your own drum? This dude started a church and kept cussing. Nobody in black church said nothing. You would have thought all the pastors would have came. You can't be no gospel artist. You just said. Nobody said nothing, because TD Jakes over there with P. Diddy, like, oh, come on, Dad.
It also gets more profound. It is not what Kim did, it is what she witnessed and what she did not say. One individual who claims to have viewed the video told a site. According to another insider, this may be the first instance of video evidence of A-listers attending one of these freak-off style gatherings, something that has been discussed for a long time but never verified. The responses have been strong. According to reports, legal professionals were forced to leave the room. Some later declined to comment. People are questioning if this film could reveal what is being referred to as the cover up behind the glam, and media sites are rushing to get screenshots. Naturally, that raises a far more significant query. Was Kim a victim, a bystander, or something else if she was present? The world's population has remained silent. No declaration, no rejection, no explanation. Furthermore, silence is not interpreted as innocence in a case this significant. It is interpreted as a tactic.
Sean Combs, how he's gotten roped into this, because we're talking about North. Okay, North is Kanye and Kim K's daughter. So what does that have to do with Sean Combs? And how is that affecting his trial, Sydney?
Nancy, it really has nothing to do with Sean Combs until that phone call dropped, until this leak of that phone call was exposed to the public. Everybody thought that Sean Combs was not touching Kanye with a 10-foot pole. I mean, we saw how quickly his vote of confidence in Combs turned into an anti-Semitic tirade just last month. So after that, you would think that Combs would have learned his lesson and stayed away. But it just highlights how isolated Combs is. He doesn't have any friends in Hollywood if he's having to turn to Kanye for friendship. So really, Combs doesn't need to be involved, but he involved himself by allowing that friendship with Kanye to continue. And their relationship has always been complicated, Nancy. So the fact that he's reaching out to Kanye is really telling.
What exactly was Kim's role in this situation then? Did she have a chance to be there as a bystander? A possible eyewitness who remained silent despite seeing something? Or is there more to this? Something that might alter her perception in the eyes of the world. Legal professionals have already voiced their opinions. According to some, Kim might be considered a material witness based on what she observed or knew. Although it does not imply that she committed any crimes, it does raise the possibility that she may have important information that the court requests, and not in a positive sense. Was she always referring to Diddy's gatherings? A fan asked in a tweet? We failed to see the signs. Now, it is more important to consider what she witnessed and the reasons behind her silence than merely where she was.
Great question. And there's a standard before you can get in front of a jury. We have a couple of tests. It's from case law. One's called Daubert, D-A-U-B-E-R-T, and one is called Frye, F-R-Y-E. Those are the standards. The judge must, before you can even allow this person to get in front of the jury, they actually have to be an expert. You just can't say I'm an expert in gum chewing. It has to be something that has scientific reliability to the community at whole. After the judge determines it has some level of expertise, the next thing they have to do is what's called a probative versus prejudicial balancing test. The judge has got to make a decision if this is actually going to be probative, helpful, or just prejudicial just to put information in there. For example, you could have a sex position expert. Yes, that might be science, might be expertise, but you just don't want to throw that in front of jury. And third, and the most important thing, the judge has to make the decision, is it actually going to help the trier of fact? Because really, the funny part about it is, all an expert is somebody who knows more than you know. That's it. So we always make the joke that a fifth grader is an expert on everything in the fourth grade because he knows more than everybody in the fourth grade. And that's the standard. It's weird, but that is the standard.
And although everyone's attention is on Kim, the appearance of one name, Kanye, shocked the courtroom even more. Something more profound, or just a cameo. To be honest, nobody anticipated that Kanye West would be involved in this case. Not in the courts, not in the public, and not in the media. Did he happen to be at the same event, or was he more like Diddy than we thought?
Put them in a hotel, they can pay for it so nobody can get to them, so they're not at home, because one of the big things we don't want is we don't want undue influence to a juror. We don't want people contacting a juror. We don't want Diddy's team. We don't want the prosecutor. We don't want anybody running into them at the grocery store, at the 7-Eleven. Like, so what do you think about Diddy? You want them a free and clear mind, just focused on the evidence, which in 2025 is almost impossible.
Right, so they've got these jury questionnaires that they are going to meet up about on April 11th, meet and confer and come up with the questions, and then they're going to get 600 of them. They're going to be printed and distributed 28th, 29th, 30th of April, get the answers back. Then they've got these 4 lists that they present. Prospective jurors that both sides agree should proceed. Prospective jurors that both sides agree should be excused. And then ones that the defense but not the government want, and ones that the government but not the defense want. How do you then come to sort of a coherent understanding of who's going to be your jurors?
So they're going to send out these questionnaires that both sides and the judge can look at together. The defense would send what they want as potential questions, and the judge will say a lot, I'm not asking that, I'm not asking that, I'm not putting that on a questionnaire. The prosecution will send questions, I'm not asking that, I'm not asking that, I'm not asking that, because you can't ask in the questionnaire, do you think Diddy did it? Because that goes to the penultimate question.
Kanye and Diddy's old pictures have already begun to surface again. Interviews, backstage activities, and even performances at parties from the early 2000s have also been included. However, the rumors are intensifying now that this leaked video shows Kanye inside or close to one of the questioned locations. According to one source, he appeared at ease rather than perplexed. Additionally, this coincides with that gives the story a completely different level. His silence suddenly becomes as dubious as Kim.
You're with your significant other, and you just want to just get into that mood, that groove. It starts off and you can like dance together on some R&B music, and it's very extremely soulful, unapologetically sexy.
Yeah.
Sexy.
Okay, and then it just jumps right in, just straight bam, bam, bam.
Okay. Yeah. Are you saying you can keep rhythm to this?
And you know what we call it? This album is for the strokers.
Naturally, that brings up the one name that has been connected to all of this from the start, the person whose inner circle continues to attract others.
Stands out that she says is that at one point Diddy had a knife inside her mouth and then says, I'm going to give you a Glasgow smile, which is, slitting someone's cheeks. But he's warned against it by a member of his team, saying Diddy's associates would prefer it if she, referring to Ashley, looked normal. She also says that they said to her they could ship her off and sell her to anyone in the world and she'd never be seen again by her parents or loved ones. Now, Ashley did make a police report in 2018 at the time of the alleged incident, and the Contra Costa Sheriff's Department confirmed her report was thoroughly investigated and it was determined the claims were unfounded. Diddy's team said Mr. Combs was nowhere near Orinda, California on the day that she claimed she was assaulted. There's no evidence that Mr. Combs was ever even in the same room as the alleged victim. She's completely unbelievable and no sane person who views the evidence will credit her story.
The Diddy Network. Now that Kim and Kanye are both purportedly shown in the same Diddy-related film, folks are now asking the questions they ought to have long ago. To what extent does this web extend? Diddy has long been seen as a connector, a mogul, and the king of parties. However, he is now recognized for something far more sinister, a man at the center of a developing legal storm involving high-profile visitors, secret parties, gag orders, and now sealed courtroom footage that could reveal all.
What celebrity was Diddy obsessed with coming to his parties but never actually showed up? Actually, the answer is 2 celebrities. And in addition to being celebrities, they're actually royals. Diddy's former publicist who worked for him between 2002 and 2004, he recently spoke to BBC News saying that Diddy was, quote, obsessed with Harry and William. During the time he worked for Diddy, he claims that he invited Prince William and Prince Harry to his parties over 10 times. He apparently even offered to cover their travel expenses, their hotel, and security, but Harry and William never accepted the invite. Diddy's former publicist claims that this obsession makes sense because Diddy used to think of himself as a king, so of course he would want Harry and William in his entourage. But like I said, clearly they never wanted to be a part of it. Alright, now I want to hear your thoughts on Diddy allegedly being obsessed with Prince Harry and William attending one of his parties. Let it out in the comments, and don't forget, for more trending news, follow us at What's Trending.
The footage that was leaked implies that Diddy and his behavior were not the only aspect of this. It concerned the whole civilization he established, a world where prominent people, influencers, and celebrities kept quiet, remained silent, and accepted the status quo. It was best put by one insider: this is Diddy's first significant weakness. No one ever had the receipts, but people always whispered so far. We may be dealing with something more significant than a single man if this video is only the start, because Hollywood is not just trembling all of a sudden, it is spiraling.
Yeah, so since KK has been kind of roped into this because she was Diddy's right-hand woman, she's kind of not been really seen too much. I mean, there was pictures of Diddy the day that after he settled Cassie's lawsuit. He's like, the pictures of him are outside his Miami house. He's looking really stressed. And there's a woman there in a robe next to him. That's KK. But really, since that moment, we haven't seen too much of her. And she's been named in 3 lawsuits. One by a former producer who worked with Diddy on the Love album, a former executive assistant, Phil Pines, who we've spoken about at length on this podcast, and then a woman called Ashley Parham, who is in San Francisco. So she has not really been saying too much of anything until now.
Yeah, people were speculating that she'd gone missing because she did have public-facing profiles on social media, but those seem to have been wiped and her LinkedIn deleted. Now, Cheyenne, you've got a response from her. People have been reaching out to her for months and months trying to get a response. What has she said to you about her involvement or lack of involvement?
Yeah, so in a statement given to me at Rolling Stone, KK basically said that she's been dealing for months with these really awful allegations, and they're causing her family harm, they're causing her harm, and she definitely says, I've never condoned or abated and abetted this sexual assault of anyone.
Panic mode in Hollywood. Hollywood's elite began to panic as soon as this tape appeared in court. We are also not talking about subtle PR changes. This was a complete digital purification. Publicists, attorneys, and crisis teams were on the scene in a matter of hours, removing any information that would link their clients to Diddy, Kim, or Kanye. Posts vanished. The tagged images disappeared. Suddenly, interviews that were innocuous were no longer available.
With the Sean Combs trial fast approaching, prosecutors are adding to their case, now hitting the former rap mogul with additional trafficking charges. ABC News' chief investigative correspondent Aaron Katursky is here with those details. Good morning, Aaron.
Hey, good morning, Janae. Sean Combs is set to go on trial 1 month from today, and the case against him just got a little bigger. This morning, Sean Diddy Combs faces 2 additional criminal charges a month before he's scheduled to stand trial in New York. Federal prosecutors charged Combs with an additional count of trafficking and an additional count of transportation to engage in prostitution. Both relate to an individual referred to in court papers as Victim 2. Combs previously pleaded not guilty to 1 count of each of those charges, as well as the most serious charge he faces, racketeering conspiracy.
For Sean Combs, the challenge in this new superseding indictment is that any one alleged victim could amount to serious prison time. He would have to disprove each and every one of the 4 alleged victims, because if even one is believed, he could serve life behind bars.
Combs now faces a total of 5 federal counts that could get him decades in prison if convicted. His attorneys are downplaying the new indictment, saying in a statement these are not new allegations or new accusers. These are the same individuals, former long-term girlfriends who were involved in consensual relationships. This was their private life, defined by consent, not coercion. But the indictment says Combs lured women under the pretense of a romantic relationship into engaging in encounters, and when he didn't get his way, prosecutors allege Combs kidnapped a woman, flashed a gun, and dangled a female victim over an apartment balcony.
It is like witnessing someone delete their past in real time, according to one writer who specializes in celebrity gossip. Here's the catch though, the more quickly they attempt to vanish, the more suspicious it appears, particularly when several celebrities who were known to hang out with Diddy abruptly stop showing up. It indicates that people are afraid, and frightened individuals move quickly. I have had 3 clients contact me crying in a 24-hour period, a public relations insider told a podcast. They do not care about gossip, they are concerned about what remains.
A US judge has ruled that the rapper and producer Sean Diddy Combs will stand trial on federal trafficking and racketeering charges in May. He'll be held in prison until then. Sean Combs has pleaded not guilty to charges that he used his business empire to transport women and male workers across state lines to take part in recorded sexual performances. If convicted, he could face a life sentence. David Willis reports.
Among those present at the Manhattan courthouse, Sean Combs' 83-year-old mother, Janice, who earlier in the week sprang publicly to his defense. And other family members, including his twin daughters, Jessie and Delilah. One of hip-hop's biggest names, the man who shaped the sound and culture of an entire generation, has spent the last 3 weeks in jail. Raids by heavily armed agents on his homes in Miami and Los Angeles in March this year led to federal charges of racketeering and trafficking. Combs, who is also facing a slew of civil lawsuits, has pleaded not guilty and blew kisses to family members in the courtroom before being led away. His lawyer has called the sexual activity described by prosecutors consensual, citing, amongst other things, the leak of this security video.
They are attempting to disassociate themselves from more than simply Diddy's universe. Celebrities who once enthusiastically shared photos of themselves with Kim and Kanye are also abruptly changing their ways. Guilt by association is now involved. No one is waiting to be revealed. They are avoiding the consequences. However, the legal pressure behind the scenes is becoming more serious even as the panic in Hollywood spreads. Because the court might show up if Kim and Kanye are in that video.
I'm Ken Whitworth here in Los Angeles, and we have breaking news right now on ABC News Live. A judge has denied bail for Sean Diddy Combs. Of course, this was the hip-hop mogul's latest bid for freedom as he remains in federal jail for his racketeering and trafficking case. The producer and rapper has pleaded not guilty to racketeering, conspiracy, trafficking, and prostitution charges. Combs was previously denied bail back in September as well. For more on this, I'm going to bring in ABC News legal contributor Shauna Lloyd, who's joining us on the phone, as well as ABC News contributor and Sirius radio host Mike Muse for more on this. So I'm glad to have you both here with us. So first of all, Shauna, let's jump here to you because I'm curious at all if you're surprised by this ruling from the judge here again to deny bail to Sean Diddy Combs.
No, I'm not surprised by the ruling because, as she cited in her order, there are very serious allegations about the danger that he potentially poses to other witnesses and the public at large. There are allegations that he has, been violent with others. He's also attempted to allegedly intimidate other witnesses and still contact witnesses while incarcerated, despite having an order that says he's not supposed to. So under these types of conditions, we usually find that the judge will not grant bail in order to preserve the judicial system and the witnesses and ensure that people feel comfortable being able to come to court and testify without being threatened with violence.
What are the legal possibilities? Kim and Kanye are in the news. This is where the legalization process begins. Fast, since Kim and Kanye are now reportedly featured on a sealed video linked to a federal investigation. They are more than just well-known figures in the media. They may also be subpoenaed if they refuse to cooperate, compelled to provide testimony. No more evading, no more press releases, just the facts, on file.
speaking of, in particular, Netflix docuseries that you've been working on, Diddy Do It.
Right.
You've been saying for years that you feel you knew Diddy's character.
Right.
Yet you've said you weren't a part of that lifestyle, you weren't going to the parties. So what makes you so absolutely sure that these kinds of allegations that we've seen against him are true?
Well, I'm surprised by the allegations, as surprised as everyone else is. Like, I didn't make the allegations. I didn't tell people to say these things. It comes out, I see it in the news like everyone else. But I did feel uncomfortable with the way you would present the idea of going to these projects.
To come party with me.
Yeah. And then that swayed me away from it. Just that alone.
So you didn't realize
as much stuff was coming. Like, when I seen today, it was allegations of 3 men that said he drugged them, and it's a long time, to be honest with you. Like, when people don't remember being violated for 20 years, it makes me feel a little hard.
What are your thoughts on the allegations against Jay-Z?
That was interesting. When I was saying things, not knowing exactly what I was saying, I was going with, like, where's Jay at? He's mad quiet. Like, while the Puffy thing was going on. But it's obvious now that his team was being made aware that he was in those allegations also. You know, so I hope it works out, because with his family, the things that go on internally is that those accusations.
This is how one legal analyst put it. You can participate in a federal inquiry without being guilty. All you have to do is remain silent while seeing or knowing something. Prosecutors are probably looking into that angle right now. Kim's silence can be construed as obstruction if she observed something unlawful and chose not to report it. Diddy himself, perhaps. In return for testimony, they may provide immunity. That is when the mess starts, because we are now discussing legal survival against loyalty.
Before his arrest, disgraced music mogul Sean Diddy Combs was famous for holding his annual 4th of July party in the Hamptons. All of the well-known partygoers wore white, and it wasn't exactly a family-friendly event. Now imagine you're a kid and you find yourself a guest there. Allison Hall has more.
Can you believe this 6-year-old boy was once a guest at Diddy's infamous white party? The disgraced mogul has his arm draped around a young Justin Livtowski back in 1999. Justin is now 31 and tells Inside Edition about taking that photo.
He put his arm around me in an uncomfortable way, close to areas that you shouldn't as a grown man.
He recalls what he saw at the party.
So I remember marijuana, and topless women. That's the 2 main things that I remember.
So, how'd he end up there? Well, his father, David Allen, was Diddy's photographer, snapping pictures of partygoers in the Hamptons. Justin's mom, Maya, was also there. She says the party was family-friendly at first, but then turned raunchy.
People were getting high. There were girls swimming topless, young-looking girls that were, not dressed. We moved to another part of the house so that he wouldn't be exposed to what was going on.
The internet is already in disarray as the courtroom prepares for more disclosures. Fans were split. Trust is eroding. You already know if you have been using social media since the video was leaked. People's opinions are divided. There are the die-hard supporters who are fighting for Kim and Kanye as if their lives depended on it. It is all a setup, they say. That guilt by association is the cause. Trending hashtags on TikTok and X include Hack Kim New, Kanye New, and Hack Diddy Files. Everyone is assembling digital data, connecting timelines, and developing their own theories, from investigative bloggers to commentary YouTubers.
The Black Billionaires Lunch.
Black excellence, they're sitting there like, yeah. It's the billionaire brunch. It's like, hey, man.
And we here together, and we're going to keep staying together. We getting tighter.
I'm unaware of anything going on here. This is the one time I'm gonna be with you. Yeah. Yo, I feel like I'm normal again. Get me out of here.
How are we still calling Kim a role model if she knew what was going on at these parties and remained silent? Read one of the most popular tweets. Fans are not the only ones speaking. Even celebrities are being dragged. Previously affiliated influencers of the Kardashians are coming under fire for their silence. Some people are sharing mysterious tales. Some are simply logging off entirely. The true storm is developing beneath the pandemonium that is still going on online, because this is no longer just a scandal involving celebrities. Something more substantial seems to be exploding. Is the era of celebrity silence coming to an end? It is obvious now that this involves more than just one leaked film or even 3 celebrities who were seen on camera. What we are seeing seems like the start of something much more significant, like the end of a time when Hollywood celebrities could remain silent, look good, and get away with it. Since, let us be honest, the notion that celebrity shields you may finally be coming undone if one of the most influential media personalities in the world, Kim Kardashian, is apparently involved in a controversy this significant. Why have these mysteries remained undiscovered for so long? The greatest way to put it was by a media insider. It is not simply a Diddy issue.
There's just been a shocking revelation from federal authorities regarding a highly private and scandalous video involving none other than Jay-Z and Beyonce, reportedly taken during a wild party hosted by Diddy. Apparently, during a Homeland Security raid on Diddy's properties, some rather intriguing discoveries were made, including compromising footage featuring numerous beloved celebrities caught in scandalous situations. Speculation is rife that Diddy intentionally leaked this footage to authorities as a form of revenge against the Carters, allegedly due to their perceived lack of support during his legal battles. It seems he's on a mission to embarrass them at any cost. Adding fuel to the fire, an unsettling audio clip allegedly featuring Meek Mill and Diddy has surfaced, courtesy of Diddy's former bodyguard.
We might be witnessing the start of a significant change, where everyone is finally held to the same standards, even the most untouchable celebs. No more tapes that are sealed, no more legal protections, no more acting like you are someone you are not, because a single video that was seen by everyone rocked the world. What happens next is the question today. We now know that Diddy, Kanye, and Kim are supposedly connected, and this video could potentially blow the case apart. What do you believe is actually happening? Please share your opinions in the comment section below, and remember to like, subscribe, and follow.